I have been wanting to start a weekly update podcast type thing for a while, but there wasn't a point to starting one yet because I wasn't knitting, but I'm knitting now. So we're going to start now. Last time we talked, I hadn't knit in about a month outside of knit class, like knitting in my house. That has changed. I am knitting again. Yay. So let's do a quick recap. That was the quick recap. I hadn't knit outside of knit class for a month. I had some sort of weird mental block going on or something. I don't know. But I'm knitting again and it feels good. I feel the creativity and the spark and the wanting to knit coming back. I am getting inspired again. So we're going to roll with it. What I said in my last video about what I was going to do to help get myself back, I did two of those things. I said I was going to block my squares for the Rowan Midwinter blanket, the ones that I had completed. As you can tell, I didn't do that. Didn't do that one. I did say I was going to weave in all the ends on my Harry Potter socks. I did that. So these are all wearable now without the little ends getting stuck in your toes. And I have worn Gryffindor and they fit so good. They fit so amazing. I did the suggested needle size. I don't remember what needle size that was. It goes over... Hush. It goes over your heel nicely, and it's an afterthought heel so it doesn't mess up the pattern, and it fits so good. I still need to do those last 4 rows on Hufflepuff, and then they are all finished. So I did that. We crossed that off. And I frogged the Hermione's Everyday Socks. Do you remember what that yarn looked like? Hold on. Okay. This is what that yarn looked like. Okay. It's a beautiful variegated thing. It's from Expression Fiber Arts. You're not surprised. It's the Sincere Sock in the color Release. This was a limited edition colorway. And this is what broke my yarn buying ban in 2024, was this yarn. Right here. And I chose Hermione's Everyday Socks because I liked the texture of it, but it was not a good fit for this yarn because this yarn is too variegated for it. So I frogged them. I was nearly to the toe on the first sock, but I hadn't worked on the sock since like July or August of 2024. I'm going to say late July because we were at a mountain bike practice. And my bike was out of commission, so I sat and knit. But, so I frogged these. I wove in the ends on Harry Potter. Those are the 2 things I did out of the things I said I was going to do. I did not make it into 3 Loves. I did not make it into I Yarn For You. It just didn't work out that way. But Saturday is local yarn store day. And I am working until early afternoon, but I will have time to stop into 3 Loves before we have knit night. Now this is just not a yarn store knit night. This is just my group of friends that I have collected. And we are going to one of our houses and just chatting and knitting and snacking. And we've been planning this for over a month now. So we are all excited. So that's my plan for local yarn store day on Saturday. Is after work, go into 3 Loves and see what speaks to me. I did the thing that got me knitting again was did I show you these giant knitting needles? These are a US 35 or a 19 millimeter needle. So these giant needles, I bought them for a purpose. And I don't know if I told you last time, but I'm making an 8-stranded, well, using worsted weight yarn, doing an 8-stranded blanket, and I decided to make it seed stitch. I don't know why. Maybe because stockinette is freaking boring. But here's how it's working out. So I'm using black, white, and gray. Yeah, 3 colors, 8 strands, doesn't matter. So this is what we've got so far. Okay? Can you see that? Is that making your eyes hurt? Oh, let's bring back the nostalgia for a second with, antenna TVs and you can't get a signal. Ready? I know, I'm a dork. Okay, anyway, so this is what I've got. Okay, my husband said it looks like a mini skirt. It is not a mini skirt. It is, I think I did 80 stitches across, seed stitch. And whenever I run out of one ball of yarn, I'm literally just tying a knot and keep it on going. As you can see, I've got ends here. So I have 3 blacks, 2 white, 2 gray, and then 1 that's like a weird grayish white thing. So I am using up yarns that I don't like. One specifically is this Butter, feels like Butter. I think that's what it was called, from Lion Brand, polyester. I hate this yarn. Yes, it is soft, but after a while it sucks the moisture out of your hands and you turn into a mummy. I do not like it. So it's in the blanket. And I had my friend give me a whole bunch of black and white yarn that she had. So I'm using up smaller bits of what I have, small bits of what she has, and using up the smaller balls first of yarn stash, and then going to the larger skeins and seeing how much I can get rid of. I want to say a lot of this is Red Heart, because I hate Red Heart. I hate Red Heart so much. So this is what I am working on. I have not touched sweater number 18 in a while. However, I did print off the pattern so I could take it to knit night with me on Saturday when I'm snatting. What? Chatting and snacking and knitting with friends. We'll work on sweater number 18. So I'm looking forward to that. And that's about it. That's our update. I'm still watching Once Upon a Time with my children. We are now in the second half of season 4. They are invested, and it's adorable. Let's see. When did I last told you I was reading Sunrise on the Reaping. Finished that. I finished the second book, The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. That one has more nakedness than the first one, and it starts way sooner. But it was still adorable. Hold on, I have to pick up my Goodreads because I don't remember. So that is what I last updated you on. Then I read The Guest List by Lucy Foley. Murder mystery on a remote, deserted sort of island off the coast of Ireland in a storm at a wedding. Fantastic. Highly recommend it. If you can do the audiobook, even better. Okay, so Guest List by Lucy Foley. I finished Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. And then I read my first ever Nora Roberts book, Inheritance. It's book 1 of a new trilogy. Basically, this woman inherits a house from her long lost uncle that she never knew she had because her father was a twin who was separated at birth. They didn't know about each other. Okay, so she inherits this house, and the house is haunted, and there's a curse, and she has to break it. Fantastic, amazing. I'm waiting for book 2 from the library. I put in a request for both the audiobook and the physical book, and we'll see which one comes in first. So I'm waiting on book 2. Then I am listening to book 3 of that Dream Harbor food thing. The Christmas Tree Farm. Like, all of these books can be standalones. You don't have to read them in order. But characters, they intertwine. Like, they make cameos in each other's books because they all live in the same small town, and it's really fun. Yeah. That's it. It's been pretty boring in the reading and watching. Well, not the reading. It's been pretty boring in the watching, just watching Once Upon a Time. Yeah. April is almost over. Easter was good. Oh, let me tell you what I did for Easter. So I forgot. Well, not really forgot. I did not correctly look at the bag that had all of the plastic eggs saved from last year in this gallon Ziploc bag. I thought I had more eggs than I actually did. Most of the bag was the mini Play-Doh things, mini Play-Doh containers. I didn't bother looking at it. And I didn't want to run to Walmart 10 o'clock on a Saturday night to get dumb eggs. So, as any true crafter, I worked around it. I got out my quilting squares and I cut out a bunch of squares of some leftover fabric that I had that happened to have cute little flowers on it. And I made just a square. I did Oreos and Jolly Ranchers. Yeah. So I put 2 Oreos in the big squares and 2 Jolly Ranchers in the small squares, and I tied them up with yarn, and so that you had a little satchel bundle thing. And my oldest helped me hide them in the backyard, and it was so fun. And I asked the boys if they preferred looking for eggs or looking for little fabric satchels, and they had no preference. So I think I'm going to do little fabric satchels again next year, because why not? It was so fun. Yeah, that's where we're at. So I am going to attempt to do this every week, hopefully on the same day, depending on what's going on work-wise. Oh, the dog is whining because I'm in here and the door is closed. So, yeah, this is my Don't Need to Think project. And I am happy. It takes forever because I can't hold the yarn like I normally do. I knit continental, and so normally I'm wrapping it around my finger and going back like this. But because the needles are so huge and there's so much yarn, I can't hold it that way. And it takes a little while to do each row. And it's wooden needles, and I don't like wooden needles. But this is going to be good. This is going to be my Oreo blanket. Yes, I know I was going to call it a 50 Shades of Grey. But you know what? Oreo or cookies and cream works just fine. And I'm probably going to have to make at least another one for the children, because odds are they will steal this from me. Yeah. So what are you working on? What are you reading? What are you watching? Anything else you'd like to share? And we'll see you next week.